So, yeah, so I took over as just being the board chairman, and I was a fireman for 32 years, so I did a lot of safety classes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a ton. Every day. You had a safety class on that cup. Every day we had something. You know, just anything. Don't spill it, don't be careful. You know, just something, you know. So anyway, so that's kind of a little bit of my background. That's why they asked me to do most of the safety classes up here at Scare. So anyway, we're gonna make this real painless, okay? So, okay, so gave you my little bit of my background and stuff like that, and I dealt with a lot of hazards. I went to a lot of calls and stuff like that. So just to let you know that I kind of know what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, hazards. I'm just going to talk about inside hazards at your house, outside hazards, traveling and shopping. You know, your hazards. If you have pets, you guys got pets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This time of year. Extra visits with family that everybody loves. More people come to your house, and it just gets a little hectic. And you know, there's hazards there too. Cyber safety, you know, about buying stuff and stuff like that. You know, online, offline, credit cards, watch that stuff, and then general info. So we're going to go through each one. First, I want to go through a little bit of electrical. You guys. That's considered a 110 socket, okay? A 110 socket, you got them all over your house, right?
Yep.
Well, they go and they follow and they fall. Then they go to a box, don't they? They go to a box,
Yeah.
breaker box,
Yep.
right? And on the breakers, there's 10 amp, 15 amp, 30 amp, 40 amp, whatever you got on there. That's what I got. And if you add them all up, I have a 100 amp service at my house. So if I added them all up, that's what happened.
Okay.
And if you used every one of them, yeah, they would all blow. You know, you can't turn everything in your house on and think it's going to work. It's just not. So, you know, you don't have your washer and dryer going at the same time, and then your TV, and then a microwave, and you're cooking something on the stove. You know what I'm saying? It's not all going on at the same time, so it's able to handle it. But once you start overloading that socket, so you know, so you take a little bitty line. I always try to do this first. A little bitty line like this. See, and your wire is based on gauge, okay? The gauge of the wire tells you how much it can handle, okay, in electrical current. And if you think of electrical like water flowing, it flows. Electrical, they call this static. There's electrical that goes right to that plug all the time. It's always there. If I plug in, I got electricity, okay? So, but when I plug in, this is kind of weak, right? It's not very big, right? Like your extension cord, a little bigger gauge, right? So if you ever want to buy something like, you go, God, I gotta have a bigger, you know, I keep blowing something. And you go, you know, I gotta buy a bigger gauge wire or electrical cord to handle what I'm running. So that's what you probably need to do. That's the easiest thing to do. Okay, so you plug this in, I plug this in, and then you're going, okay, that's going to the Christmas tree. Okay, so now I'm gonna plug my handy dandy 6-pack whatever on there, right? But I got that. But, you know, sometimes, see, the reason why people use these, it doesn't have a
prong.
Yeah, and what does that prong do?
Ground.
It's a ground, that's right. This one doesn't have a ground, right? So I need this to plug into this, okay? So I plug that in. Okay, now it'll probably still work, you know, this will work. And if it does blow, this will blow, usually.
Yeah.
The breaker will blow on here. But I've seen people do that, and then they break out another one. And then they plug it into this one. And then they keep going, right? Like this, right? That's bad. Okay, this is pretty good gauge, and that's pretty good gauge wire. But the problem is, it started here, not there. Okay, see how light that is? And then it goes to heavy gauge, heavy gauge. If you would touch this wire, it would be hot. We don't want to do that. The heavy gauge you want plugged directly in. And then if I was to do it, I would take this and plug it directly into there. That's what you gotta, I always tell, be smart at what you're doing.
What about plugging one of each into?
One of each into there. It's okay because this gauge is still okay. It will handle it. But you know, like I said, what are you plugging in here?
Yeah.
Are you plugging in heavy stuff, or is it lightweight Christmas tree? You know, Christmas lights.
Yeah.
That's the thing. What are you plugging in here? I mean, are you running your generator off this? Well, it won't do it, right? It won't do it. So you gotta kind of be smart in what you're doing, like I said, and just try to plug in what won't overload it. And what'll happen is this will trip, and if that doesn't trip, it'll go back to here, back to the box will trip. And everybody's had a box trip before. Okay, sometimes, not always, but sometimes the breaker's bad. It gets real loose, and it'll trip all the time. You have to replace the breaker, but that's, you know, when they get older. But normally you just go out, unplug what you got going, and turn it back on, and it should trip.
We might
back
have
on.
an old breaker.
You might have an old, because
Our
it's keep
kitchen,
tripping.
always trips.
Yeah, kitchen usually has at least a,
Microwave and the toaster oven?
you don't run it at the same time.
They
Pop.
pop.
Yeah, I could take
And turn
that.
off everything, the
Or
stove,
the-
the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee pot and the.
Coffee pot takes a lot too. And it's the amps and the stuff that the coffee pot's pulling, and toaster oven, those are the worst. They get like 500 degrees, and they get hot really fast, and they take a lot of power. You know, so you're running your coffee pot, that, and you're running something else in there, a microwave, it's gonna pop.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so, and then sometimes you can change out that breaker and make it bigger. You can make that breaker bigger. So if it's only a 15 amp, you can maybe run a 20 and it won't pop as much. But my suggestion, don't run all three of those at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the bad thing. Run them at, or take maybe the oven and maybe put it in a different area in your house and run it, you know what I mean? And then that way it's not overloading that one circuit, because
Yeah.
that's what you're doing. Because all the kitchen is lined up to one circuit.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Not all bedrooms are like that, but a kitchen is, washer and dryer, they have their own breaker, they take a lot of power.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, that's at least a 30 amp breaker on those. So that's probably what's happening, but what you're using is too much for what you got. So, and like I said, it might be an old breaker. So anyway, a little bit of a rundown on how electrical works, guys. I mean, I could go into it a little further, but there's no reason to, you know, there's just be careful what you're plugging in, outdoor, indoor, you gotta be careful what you're plugging in, because it'll overload this so quickly, it's not funny. And I do the same thing, I put this on that, and hey, that working, you know, I don't blow it, okay. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing like everybody else, I'm human. So anyway, so just a little catch up, but plug in the heaviest stuff first if you can, and then it can handle what you're gonna, because you're always pulling power, you know, trying to pull power out of the socket, you know, type thing, so. Yeah, and then these little doodads, you get these little three, now this has a ground, right? Yeah, you do a 3-on-1, and I've seen people plug in 3 of those, or 6 of them on that plug, that kind of plug, 6 of them, right? So that's 3 times 6, 18 plugs, really, on that little thing? I'm like, what do you, if somebody put a gun to my head, I mean, that's totally stupid. I mean, something's gonna pop, it just is, it just can't handle it. I mean, that line, I mean, if you've ever seen line on the inside of the outside of drywall, it's flat, it's about that big, and it runs, you know, all the way back to the breaker, but it's not, it can't handle, it's just 110. Now, 220, that's a little bigger. I like your hat. I got a nice hat. 220 is a little bigger, and then do you have electric dryer? Do you guys work with a dryer?
We're actually switching over right now
Yeah,
to electric.
to electric. Okay, then when you get an electric dryer, it'll have that big plug, and that big plug will have a big gauge wire on it. And you'll look at your breaker, and it'll probably be a 30 amp breaker that'll run it. And I wouldn't run a lot of stuff when you're running the dryer, because it pulls a lot of power. It really does. So my house too does the same thing. Wish it had been like 200, you know. But anyway, so yeah, and today's new homes, they're making them 400 and 500 service for the panel now, which is a ton, because look at all the electronics about it. Everything's plugged in, you know. So everybody's pulling a lot of power all the time. So anyway, so that's one thing. So the other thing is, guys, I was talking about the CO and smoke alarm. Okay, now they used to just make a smoke alarm without the CO, okay? But this is both, okay? This is the CO is for like propane, gas, any kind of gas that you have at home. Yeah, so this does both. It costs less than $10, and some smoke detectors are hardwired in, they call it. It's hardwired, that means it's got wires into the back. If your power goes out, they won't work, but they usually have a battery backup also. This one is strictly battery. You have to change it every year, and it usually notifies you. It'll beep, and you're going, what the hell is that? I want to hit it with a bat, but most people do, just knock it off the wall. But usually, I mean, either one works really well, but I tell people now, I recommend, get the one with the CO2, you might as well. And it does both, you know, and you don't put them in your kitchen. That's kind of dumb, why? Because we cook there, and there's a lot of smoke. If she's a good cook, I'm sure. There's no smoke in yours, but yeah, so if there's no smoke, then this thing won't pick it up. But I usually put them in hallways, right in the entrance to any of your bedrooms, right above there. Not in your bathrooms, stuff like that. Bathrooms are special too. They have GFIs, they call them. You ever heard of a GFI? And that's a ground fault. It's with a little button. And that happens because there's water in the area. Usually in kitchens and bathrooms will do GFIs. Okay, so you're learning something too today, Max, aren't you?
I am. I am learning a lot.
So that's why. So if you're in an old house, can't say they don't have GFIs in there, but when you replace them, they'll usually have to change them with a GFI. And it's smart because you don't want plugging stuff in that's wet. That's the biggest thing. Okay, so we can move on. So guys, got any questions about smoke detectors, stuff like that, where to put them?
No.
You know, you don't put them. Most people don't. I don't see very many in garages. Outdoor for sure not. But
A lot of
in
new houses are already
pre-plumbed and stuff.
sprinklers and.
They are.
Yeah.
They got sprinklers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's like, wow, sprinklers. But they're running us out of a job, I guess. Yeah, they wanted to do everything. So anyway, so we went through kind of the electrical, what is it, the current, and how that works, and breakers, what different kinds they are. Overloading, and we talked about that. Extension cords. Just remember when you run extension cords, make sure what you're running is not pulling in more than your extension cord, you know, if it's a little baby guy.
Yep.
Okay, so outdoors, okay, if you do, and I'm trying to put it toward Christmas, if you do any outdoor lighting and stuff like that, be careful with the ladders. And I mean, that's so important. Everybody, they fall. I mean, people just fall, especially my age, we fall.
I fall
you know.
smoking.
Yeah, so if you're there and you're both there together and you want to hang something, do it together. Do it seriously, do it together, take your time, there's no rush. You know, use the right ladder. I see people using, okay, chairs. Okay, let's get on a chair. Well, I don't know what the gross vehicle weight of a chair will hold, but you don't want to get on a chair, you know, because it's not rated for anything. It's just a chair. You sit on it, you know, you don't stand on it. And people do it all the time in their house. You get on a chair and go, it just drives me nuts. So stay off chairs. That's a big thing. Like I said, choose the right ladder. Oh, we talking?
Like me.
We talking her language right now. Huh? You get on chairs a lot. You bad girl. Bad girl. Don't do that.
I had to ask permission after she was born. Well, can I get on a chair now?
I mean, and
He was right there.
He should be
literally
behind
right there behind me, and he's like,
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah. I mean, and, you know, and you know, just like I said, use the right ladder. Use step ladders. Use, you know, and that are stable and stuff. Yeah, definitely. And maybe a 4 or 5 footer. Don't. Who wants to go above that? I don't. You know.
No,
and I used to.
right now is the extension ladder.
Yeah, I have extension ladders. I mean, I used to paint on my days off. I'd paint, and I have an assortment of ladders: 32, at 16, at 24.
Yeah.
I mean, I got all the ladders, but I don't guess they're going to have a weight limit on them. Don't overload them. Okay. And just be careful when you're hanging stuff. You know, oh God, I can almost get that one last, and you know, and you move the ladder. Just take your time, move the ladder. I put stop watering. A lot of people put like lawn stuff on the ground, you know, blowouts and things like that. Stop watering if you're gonna have that stuff on there, because you don't want to water it. It'll just pop them anyway once you turn them on, you know, so don't water. You know, after you start laying stuff out like that. Watch out, like I said, really heavy pitch roofs, you know, trees, stuff like that. Yeah, and never stay on the top of any ladder.
Yep.
The very top is not for you to stand on. It's not.
It's not on the ladder.
That's right. That's
Not a
right.
step.
That's right. It's not a step. It says that right at the top of the ladder. So, and I dealt with ladders my whole life, believe me. So, okay. So that was outside kind of. You guys got any questions about outside? Just, you know, anything you've done that's kind of not very bright, or anything you've done that's really bright. Maybe you can teach me. You know?
Well,
Stuff outside. It's a little outside's a little bit different than inside. It's not. It's usually higher. You know.
Yeah, the backside of our house is, so we're on a hill,
Yeah.
so the backside gets higher and higher.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, so if you go to the front of our house, it's a normal house.
Right.
The backside, it's 10 feet off the ground.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely need a ladder. Yeah, definitely need a ladder. Did you hang any lights on the back? Or?
No.
No.
It's
Okay.
all in the front.
Okay. So we'll go indoor then now. Okay, guys. So indoor. What are we dragging into the house every year? Most people do. They drag it. Bring a tree in that's dead into your house. Okay, and then what do? We have heaters. We have stuff in there that dries them out even more. they're dead. And now we're gonna turn on the heater at 75 degrees, 80 degrees, and it's gonna dry that tree out even more. I always tell people, try to get a stand that has water in it.
Yeah.
They have stuff that treats the water too, that'll keep it alive, even, or looking alive, even longer, because you've already killed it.
Give it moisture.
Yeah, give it moisture, exactly, and it'll absorb it and bring it up. So that, you really want to do that, because like I said, you're bringing something dead into your house. And now I'm gonna put Christmas lights on there, and that's gonna warm it up a little bit, you know, and stuff like that. But try not to do too many, you know, hang your bulbs and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, yeah. And then, and be careful with the angel on the top, man. I don't wanna go crash down, you know, 'cause a lot of people do that, you know, they put stuff on the top and they can't reach it, same thing. Use a ladder, take your time, you know, that kind of thing. It just, everybody wants everything done yesterday. You know, this is hard when you have kids. I know you have more than just that
we
one.
have 5.
Keep your house clean. A clean house is a safe house.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I hate to say it, but then I tell people that, they go, my house is a mess. I go, well, you're gonna trip and fall, you're gonna hit something, you're gonna, how many times you walk on one of the toys?
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, and that could flip your ankle, I mean, honestly, so sometimes you like, you need a rake inside, you know, to rake up the toys, but you have to just be mindful of it, you know, I hate to say it, make your kids pick up, you know, pick up your stuff or I'll throw it away. There's a dumpster right there, man. So just, you gotta keep it clean. And like I said, but a clean house is and then you're gonna open gifts and stuff, you're gonna have a lot of wrapping paper, a lot of ribbon and stuff like that. People like to burn it, you can, but be careful, it's really flammable and it'll go up really quick in your house. So a little bit of time's okay, but you know. And then you're living campo?
Yeah.
You might be able to burn outside.
Yeah, we actually do.
Yeah, you got like a 55-gallon drum or something. Or
I dig a hole.
You dig a hole? Yeah, perfect.
No, we got
Perfect.
probably bigger than this table.
Nice. Just throw everything in there.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I love that. Yeah, I wish I could do that. All right. That'd be great.
Go wait
So-
for a nice calm day though.
Yeah. You got it. Are you guys on the res or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't even have to do
We're
you don't do
yeah, we
a
don't have to
burn
do
permit or
that,
nothing?
no.
Oh, you're lucky. I'm gonna come to your house, take all my crap and burn at your house. So, okay, so yeah, so just be careful when you're burning stuff, you know, outside especially, because they say now San Diego is fire all the time, you know, it's year round. So, our fire hazards. Cooking, you know, cooking with small children, the biggest thing, it's hot, it's on the stove, they're always reaching up, handles inside, pull them on the inside, don't let them flip open. You couldn't tell you how many calls I went to where kids got burned.
Yeah.
And it was just terrible.
Our pantry is, you have to walk, here's the stove, you have to walk around the stove to get to the pantry door.
Okay,
And so none of the kids are allowed in the
good,
kitchen while we're cooking.
good. How old's your oldest?
6, 7.
17. Well, you probably got some sense, but
Yeah.
the little ones, they gotta be careful
The
with that.
6-year-old, she's always
She's moving.
right behind us.
Yeah, that's the one you gotta watch out for. The ones that are moving, they're everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
You've raised them, you know, so, yeah, just be careful, because kids get burned so easily, so quickly.
Our
you
son,
know.
youngest son, he's ADHD, so he's just always moving.
Really? Oh, yeah.
And he's a klutz.
Oh, yeah.
He'll trip over his own feet. Yeah.
Well, hopefully he'll grow out of it.
He's gonna get better.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Sometimes you
good.
just gotta grab him and hold him for a second,
Yeah, just so it'll
and
kind
then
of,
let him go, and he's,
just calm as can be. Yeah. There's just too much going on probably for his brain.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and he just gets so kind of
If we have
overloaded.
people over, he's
Yeah,
just
oh, yeah. Yeah, he's out of control.
trying to play with every single person at the same time, and it's just
That'll
don't work.
Yeah, slow down, slow down. Yeah, that's good. So, like cooking, like I said, small kids and stuff, you gotta be really careful. Your oven, hotter than crap on the inside, you know, on the outside too, if they touch it and stuff. Small ovens. I can't tell you how many fires I went to with those ovens, those, what do you call them, the portable ovens that are sitting on your counter.
Oh, toaster ovens?
Yeah, you plug those in, like I said, they will blast off to 500 degrees like that.
Oh, yeah.
And if you let them sit like that, they'll light your counter on fire.
Yeah.
And I went to so many.
Ours sits on it's on a wooden stand,
Right.
but it sits on, we have like I think it's a cookie sheet. It's just
Underneath
a flat piece of
Metal,
that sits
that's
on
good. It's not sitting strictly on wood, because
No.
I've seen them burn right into the wood, start the cabinets on fire, and they'll do a number on everything you
Yeah, I
have.
lost, when I was about 16, I think,
Mm-hmm.
we lost half of our house.
Because of the toaster oven.
Toaster oven.
And you bought one.
Um,
What do you think?
Actually, it was given to us.
Yeah, get rid of that thing, man.
But yeah, that's why it's sitting on that metal pan.
You know what works really well now, and I really enjoy it, I got one for my birthday, like in August, those, what do they call those, the air
Air
fryers?
fryer? I
Oh.
I'm telling you, I loved it.
I didn't like mine.
You didn't
I
like it?
had the little round one. It
Yeah.
isn't good enough for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, they make, I mean, the one I have is like this big, and it's got 2 levels, and I can put chicken in there, or
Yeah.
anything.
Our
you know?
toaster oven
Yeah.
is a toaster oven.
Right,
It bakes, it
Yeah.
air fries also.
Oh, it does air fry.
it all.
well, that's good for air
Yeah.
fries. And air fry's supposed to be better for you.
Yeah.
You know, a little better for you. So, I just like it, because it's actually healthier for you too, you know, the air frying, because you're not, you know, cooking in oil and stuff like that. But I like it, and it doesn't get us, it will get hot enough to cook it, but that air, it's circulating that air, or that hot air all the time, and it cooks it half the time, you know. But I tell everybody, get rid of the toaster oven.
Yeah.
I hate those things. They're just dangerous, they really are. I don't know who was able to do that. So kids, so if we're talking about like the Christmas tree, kids, small bulbs, things like that, they stick in
Yep.
their mouth, you know, anything they could stick in their mouth. It's like, that's almost how they feel stuff. They put it in their mouth, can I eat that or not? You know, so that, you gotta be careful of that. And then back to like animals, remember the stuff you used to put on
Oh,
the tinsel?
Yeah.
You know, those cats, well, that gets wrapped up in their intestines, it'll kill them.
Oh, yeah.
So you gotta really be careful. If you have animals, usually I don't even put it on the tree anymore, because if I have animals, they're animals, they don't know any better, and they just eat it. You know, they'll mack it out, and you're like, So be careful with that, and like I said, choking incidents with kids and stuff like that, and know how to, you know, I don't know if you've ever been involved with choking incident with one of your kids, I'm sure you have.
Yep.
You know, you turn them over, get the gravity down low, and hit them, and we're gonna do a CPR class here.
100% that's what we do.
Good, that'd be good. So yeah, do that one too, but that's real good to know CPR. Candles, everybody likes candles, the smell of candles, this candle. They got candles now that are battery operated, they smell just as good. Yeah, so be careful with the lit ones. Kids can get hurt by them, the wax is very, very hot.
Yeah.
It'll burn the heck out if you even touch the wax. So the candles nowadays, like I said, they're battery operated, and they're so much better. Yeah, they really are. You can't get burned.
We got the Costco ones.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. And they're
We also have
the other
the
ones.
the light
Yeah.
ones.
Tell her not to like those.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I tell my
got-
wife.
The kids actually are not allowed to touch any of the candles.
Good, because they'll get burned. I mean, it's just the way
We
it
had,
is. They'll just get burned.
So our son that's ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
he's also autistic.
Oh, okay.
So he wants to see what the wax does.
Oh, boy.
So we got him in the bathroom,
Oh, no.
pouring the wax.
Oh, no.
And then
I bet he got in trouble for that.
his finger in it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he got in trouble for that.
Oh, good. Yeah, they should.
He's
So.
no longer.
But they have electric ones, you know, that you can plug in and stuff, and then they'll heat up the wax with a bulb
Yeah.
underneath it and stuff. Yeah.
We got those.
Yeah.
That's the one you want to stick his finger in.
Yeah.
Because now there's no flame,
I'm
so
surprised he's doing it
not,
because it's so hot.
I wasn't interested in it because there was no flame.
Yeah.
But now he found out well, there's wax in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
Keeps
we
his
have
toys
to
in there.
stop him from doing that.
We did.
So, okay, so like I said, try to buy the battery ones, and then, you know, you see the candles that flicker and stuff,
Yep.
they're battery, and they look, and even the thing that's made out of wax, it's
Yeah.
weird, but it's battery.
Yeah. We had one melt.
Did you really?
We sat it too close to the fireplace.
Oh, yeah, it will melt, yeah,
Yeah.
it will melt, yeah. And indoor, like I said, if you have I don't know, you know, and up there you don't have as many people, but down here I tell people, shut your blinds at night, because it's just somebody comes by, they look at it, you got something they want, they're gonna try to get it, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So
We got
shut
the
your blinds.
Big heavy,
Yeah.
those things called
Shutters, like,
No, they're like the curtains, but it makes everything black.
oh, really?
Oh.
They're called blackout curtains.
Yeah, blackout curtains.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
real thick.
Yeah,
They keep the cold out too.
they do, yeah, it keeps everything down. Yeah, it gets cold in campus sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, so keep those shut, you know, especially, and if you go on a trip, keep them shut, you know, that kind of thing, especially during the holidays, because people have Christmas trees, my wife likes to put it right in our front window. I'm like, I'm gonna shut the blinds every night. We're not leaving this
Our tree
open,
goes
you know?
everywhere.
Yeah,
Like every year it's, all right, where are we putting it this year?
yeah. So do you do
So
live
we gotta move
tree,
the
or do
couch,
you
we gotta move
do,
the
or do you
table.
do the ones, the live tree, or do you do the
We do
ones?
live tree.
Okay. Some people love the live tree, some people like the,
I'm
you know.
trying to get my wife to get the potted tree,
Yeah.
so it's actually living.
Oh, then you can plant
And
it.
then, yeah, plant
Plant
it.
it after, that's perfect. Yeah, they do have them, they do have them, but, I mean, my sister, she wants the ones that are, you know, you pop them together and they're, all the lights are on there and everything, and I can't get my wife to do that at all. She won't do it, so.
They have the spray too.
Yeah,
The
it
scent.
makes them spray, it makes them spray the scent, so I'm like, Debbie, it'll smell like pine in here, what's the big deal? You know, so, anyway,
I
so,
almost had one this year, almost.
almost, close, yeah, keep working on her, keep working on her, man. So, anyway, that's kind of the indoor stuff, I mean, there's also obviously more hazards, I just try to pick the ones that really stand out,
Mhm.
okay, so, so the next thing is shopping and traveling, okay? I tell people, especially ladies, keep your packages out of sight, okay? When I put them in, if I put them in like a regular car, I'll throw them in the trunk, if they're a regular car. If it's not a regular car, like an SUV or something like that, and they're exposed, I tell people, bring a towel with you,
Blanket or-
bring a blanket, throw it over them before you leave your
We
car.
always have blankets in our van.
Well, then throw them over whatever she buys, throw them over it. Because, I mean, you probably try to hide them from the kids too, but, you know, same thing, hide them from people that are looking, because people, they're predators, people are looking in your stuff, they're looking to see what you
Today,
have.
we gotta hide it from the kids too.
Yeah, exactly, so,
We stopped at, Tanif on the way here,
right,
and they gave the kids a bunch of stuff.
oh, good.
We thought they were gonna be wrapped, but they're not wrapped.
They're not wrapped, they
Still
gotta
gotta do
wrap
some
them.
work.
You gotta wrap them. So, but anyway, like I said, keep the package out of sight, in the trunk, or under a blanket, and then I always tell people, carry a flashlight, or have a flashlight,
Oh, no.
at least in your car, and then, you know, you can have one on your keychain or something like that, they make them really bright now. So, I mean, you know, and so you're not, you know, searching around. Guard your wallet and your purse, you know, keep it in front of you, not behind you. And even in our, you know, pocket in the back, I try to, when I'm around a lot of people, I'll just transfer that. And if I have a vest in the front, I'll put it in the front pocket. I'll do something a little different, so somebody just can't bump me and run with it, because people are pretty good at what the pickpocket and stuff. They can do a really good job.
I try to keep mine right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. You lose your phone, you lost your,
True that,
card.
but who loses their phone these days?
No,
They always have it right there in their hand on
that's good. Like I said, yeah, just in public places, when you're around a lot of people, watch the crowds and watch, you know, where you're at, and know, I go to some place, I always look at, am I in a building? I'll know, I look around, I look at the exits,
Oh.
I look at everything, because, I mean, we could have earthquakes, I mean, you could get a electrical problem, a building, and everything shuts down. So it's good to know. I just kind of, you know, it's just kind of, you walk in and go, oh, okay, there's the exit, there's this. And it's just safety for you and your family. You know, if you just walk in blindly and go, la, 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 well, and then everything shuts down.
How about you out of here?
Yeah, I've got to tell you a story. One time I was in the hospital, and they were doing some tests on some things that I had going on, and all of a sudden, every door, literally, this is at Zion at Kaiser.
Oh, really?
Every door shut. Well, when they shut the doors, there's a lot of doors there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I got up, and all the lights were off too, and I go, hello? And no, my tech was gone, everybody was gone. Well, they were told to go outside. Well, I got up, and it was a mice maze, because so many doors shut, I didn't know where I was at anymore. I mean, you know, you're usually looking at a long hallway. Well, now, if you got 5 doors that shut, you know, then
You're
it
in a
was just,
room and you go through
Yeah.
that one, you're in another room.
that's right. I was in a mice maze, you know, and then finally I found my tech. I go, you left me in there, you son of a, you know what? You know, I couldn't believe you left me. But just like I said, know your environment, know what where you're at. So it's really important. Just look around. It doesn't take 2 minutes, right? Try not to walk alone if you're shopping and stuff like that during the holiday. Try to walk with somebody, friends, family.
Yeah.
You know, it's just better, especially when you're going back to your car and things like that. You know, and if it's an unlit area and stuff like that. Watch your kids, keep them close. I don't have to tell you that. You know, you just have to never leave them alone and never leave them with somebody you don't know. I mean, that's pretty close. Like I said, leave pets at home. People like to bring them to all these events and stuff. Pets are usually better at home. They're calm. They don't need to be running around, you know, stuff like that. That's crazy, you know?
Yeah, I had, my dog was like that.
Yeah.
She went everywhere with me.
Yeah,
And before I met my wife, it was just me and my dog.
right,
And she'd hop in the truck with me and
Yeah.
go.
yeah.
If I'd be going, I open the door and she's already in the truck.
She's in the truck, yeah.
Like, boom.
Yeah,
So when I moved in with them, I had to train her to stay at the house.
yeah. That's a little tougher for them. They don't
Go
understand.
Take off in a truck and she's chasing me like, you're forgetting me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, they're just more, I guess they're just more at home when they stay at home,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? More calming to them. I tell everybody to smile, you know, this time of year, everybody's going through the same thing you're going through, so just kind of smile and let stuff roll off your back. There's gonna be a lot of rude people out there, there's gonna be a lot of nice people out there. Hopefully you get a little bit of both, and maybe not as much as the rude people.
This morning was pretty bad on the freeway.
It was, yeah,
gosh,
yeah,
yeah.
like Lake Jennings on
It's
the way.
always so bad.
Yeah,
It's always
they got
bad.
two, on Johnson up here, they got 2 lanes closed, that's why it's backed up.
Yeah.
And I tell people, have plenty, and you probably deal with this all the time, have plenty of gas in your tank.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, you know, when I get about a half a tank, I try to fill up.
Back, yep.
Yeah, I try to fill up.
That's how our
because
family
you just
is.
don't know.
We borrowed her sister's van, or
Yeah.
car, and she took the van.
It's like
And
gas,
then,
she had no gas in it.
She called us and said, oh, my car's on empty, so just to let you guys know. Oh, okay. So's the van. She's like, there's a half tank. I go, that's empty.
Yeah, it is. It is, because they've had people like in LA and stuff like that, have a quarter of a tank, well, they've sat on the freeway so long, they ran out of gas. And now what? Now you gotta get it towed and get off the freeway, and it's just, you know, why? You know, fill the damn thing up, you know, it's just not worth it, you know, that's the biggest thing, fill it up. And then check your car, make sure you got a good running car, make sure the tires are good, make sure, you know, the gauges work, you know, just make sure everything works, the brakes are good, you know, the main things is pretty important. And I do a safety class on that too, on checking vehicles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I take them outside and I'll say, let's go look at your vehicle. And then when I check it out, and I'll say, okay, where's the dipstick? Where's the radiator?
Yeah.
Where's the alternator? Where, you know, just things that you should know. Where's the battery? And I try not to make it too difficult, because, you know, I get a lot of women here too. But people need to know what you're driving. And these hybrids and these electric cars, it's even worse.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because, I don't understand them completely, but I've been looking into it more. But you should know what you're driving. Like I said, you borrowed a car. Well, what about that was an electric car or hybrid?
Yeah.
Would you know what you're doing? You know,
No,
I mean,
no.
even how to start it. I mean, it's just all push button now. They don't, or they use a fob like this. This thing doesn't do anything.
No.
It just sits there and
Yeah.
it lets me start the car. But it's weird, it's got a little key, I think it's
Yeah.
right here. This little thing here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what the hell does that do? Does that open my door?
I think so.
I think it
I think
does.
I think it's like a manual thing.
Now, yeah, but if I don't have this, I still can't start the car. So I can get in the car, but I can't start the car. That doesn't make any sense to me.
We had a
But-
car that the key actually got,
The fob
I don't
itself.
know, somebody's tried to stick it in the
Oh,
car where I don't even, there's a spot.
yeah.
Where I don't know what the little spot's for,
Oh.
but it's, is that a Nissan?
No, this is a Kia.
The Nissan has like in the dash, it has the shape of the fob,
Mhm.
so I don't know if you're supposed to stick the fob there?
I have my truck, I have a truck that has a fob like this, but it sticks out like that. And you actually stick it in, and I
And
actually
you turn it
turn
like
the
a
ignition.
key, huh?
Yeah, you do.
But then there's that
Then
little
like
key that
this.
comes out,
Yeah.
it was, I think one of the kids.
And it has a key on it too. It has a key on it like this too.
Okay.
So, yeah, but like I said, be familiar with what you're driving. I mean, literally, if you borrow somebody's car,
The
make sure you
key
know.
also unlocks the shifter.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you look next to the shifter, there's a little tiny,
Oh,
sometimes it's a hole.
oh, so I can maybe
So, yeah,
hit it to
put
I can put it in
and you
neutral or
put it in
something.
neutral, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I learned that
I'll
one.
try that. I'll try that on this one, because this one's been a little bit funny for me. But it's just being familiar with if you're borrowing a car, make sure you're familiar with where everything's at. Like, you're gonna go on a long trip, right? So with.
I am borrowing a car.
Yeah, and what's that?
I am borrowing a car.
See, so I would check it
So-
out maybe a day or two before you even go. Make sure it has oil, make sure it's
YouTube
radiator.
it.
Yeah, and check it all out, because, I mean, I don't like driving anything that, you know, you might have one low tire. You don't know it, but you might have one low tire. This thing tells you when you got a low tire
If
now.
you get a Toyota Sienna, the spare tire is under the van.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
To lower the spare tire, there's a little tiny flap about that big. You lift the carpet and then you use the tire iron to
spin it down.
Yeah,
lower the
yeah,
tire.
Is it a full-size tire or a mini?
It's a mini.
Yeah. And
It's
you can't
always
go
the
more
mini
than 50
tires.
miles an hour in those minis. You better not go any more
Uh-huh.
faster than 50. And I've seen people go 70 and 80 miles an hour with those
Hey,
minis.
that's
I'm like,
one passed me on.
oh yeah, they patch it. They're like, they got a mini tire on there.
They've had
It's
that
this
thing.
wide.
They've had that thing run for weeks.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the first time it's ever been used probably in the life of the car, so it's probably rotted, you know, so. Anyway, so check the car out real good, okay, if you guys get a chance. The tire, the pressure, the PSI and stuff like, stuff that's gonna make a difference in your journey, okay? Everybody, make sure everybody has a seatbelt, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
You seatbelt all your kids in and make sure they're in approved stuff, so they don't.
We do a
get hurt.
seatbelt check before we even move.
That's good. Everybody better be buckled in, man.
Yeah.
They're just little missiles, and I've seen it in so many incidents that I went to. They just, you think, I've heard parents go, oh, I can go like this and stop them. No, you can't. You're going so much forward too. When you get in a wreck, it's just phenomenal how fast they can go through that window.
Oh, and the seatbelt across
Yeah.
the chest.
Yeah.
My little one's like put it behind him.
Oh, yeah, I had one, I'll just, real quick, I'll tell you, and we're almost done, but I had one gal that was, we went on I ran the freeway between Oceanside and San Clemente, and we went on a call where a lady was in a Volkswagen Bug, she was in a Bug, and her husband was following her right behind her. They just got married, and they're following behind her, well, of all things, across the freeway, a deer.
Oh, man.
And she swerved to miss a deer. Well, you know, on the side of the freeway when they put like hay sometimes. They used to do that.
Yeah.
Well, if you've ever hit hay, if you've ever skied or snow skied, and you hit hay, you stop on a dime. You go.
Oh, yeah.
She stopped, didn't have her seatbelt on. She missiled right through her Volkswagen window, and she's laying probably, I'd say at least 60 feet beyond the car. And then he pulled over because he saw her do it. They just got married 2 hours ago. And she's dead. She's laying there dead.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was and he's cradling her and stuff, but wear your seatbelt, guys. They work. They really do work.
Jeez.
Even if it's a lap belt, they'll keep you in the car. You don't want to be out of the car because that's when you really get hurt. You really get hurt out of the car. And you're gonna lose something when I'm sorry, it'll God dang it, the balloon hits you in the face.
Airbag?
Airbag, thank you. I couldn't say airbag. So when the airbag hits you, you're probably gonna be black and blue, and then you might get a bloody nose and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but you're gonna save your life. And I've never seen anybody get their nose broken, but you're gonna feel it. It comes out of there like a gun.
Yeah.
You can't stop it. I mean, it's just so fast, blam. You know, so be careful with the airbags with kids in the front, because it can do some damage to them, because they're a lot littler.
In my old truck, I used to turn the airbag off.
Off on that side. That's probably the best idea, especially for little like
Yeah.
that. It would.
Oh, shit, I never put it in the front.
Yeah, it would tear them up. Yeah, it would tear them up. So, anyway, back to that. So let's get back to cyber safety, guys. I talked a little bit about it earlier about your credit cards, your debit cards. Be careful with them. Buying stuff online, Amazon, anything you buy. Be careful. If somebody's trying to get a hold of you and wants to sell you something, always go back to your numbers and say, you know what, I'm going to get a hold of the company or whatever. Don't let them come to you. You go to them. And then that way, at least you know that the number that you got is valid.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're selling is valid.
Yep.
Denise just told me a lady got a package like this, and they said, oh, scan this, and you'll get a...
Yeah. If you just click a link, you can lose everything.
Yeah.
That's why you don't want to like open up any of the scammer emails and click links. You
Yeah.
think it's like fine to just click their link? It's not.
No.
Yeah.
They make it look fun.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
be careful. Max knows a lot more about it than I do. He's probably very...
it's easy to be safe. It's easy to be safe. You
Yeah.
just can't do weird things, you know.
Yeah, don't do weird stuff. Yeah, be careful. Check your receipts all the time. If you lose your credit card, report it immediately. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it from even being good anymore. Use safe sites when you're buying stuff. You know, you can use PayPal, you can use Amazon. You can still get scammed, but it's a little harder. You know what I mean? If you're going in on your side, keep your cards hidden while you're shopping and stuff like that. Be careful. You know, she went down.
Oh, she's out.
She's out like a leg. Boy, I was lucky she missed the whole class. All my talking. So, general information, guys, as far as your house, have extinguishers. Do you have any?
Actually, we have one, but it's in the truck.
Okay. Okay, so you should have at least a couple, small ones, and you need to know how to use them. Because you'll probably be there when something happens.
Yeah.
And you have kids, so kids play with matches, I hate to say it, they just do when they, sometime in their life, they're gonna play with matches. So just have some extinguishers. I usually put it in the pantry, you know, where your washer dryer's at, put one in there, and then somewhere close to the kitchen. You know what I mean? And I think today you're gonna get, you guys seen those blankets they show them on TV? As seen on TV, they're a blanket you can put over like a pot's burning up or something like that, and you can throw it over it and it just
Smothers it?
Oh, cool.
So you're gonna get one of those today, I know. Okay, so, but find and get an ABC, that's an ABC extinguisher will put out, you know, plastics, paper, it'll do electrical fire, so it's a little, it all encompasses everything.
Okay.
Then they got D's and E's, but you guys don't need to deal with that unless you're burning magnesium.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was, in the desert, yeah, exactly, yeah, that was a fire all night, man. Yeah, no see.
Magnesium is super
Yeah,
bright.
super bright.
They make it like daylight.
And you put water on those things, oh my God, they blow up. They blow up, so be careful, but just have a couple, guys, and they're $10,
That's
you
what
know,
I
for that
used to
big.
put on my mini trucks. We used to bolt on magnesium blocks to the
Yeah.
back of the frame,
Yeah,
so when we dropped the back of the truck, it sparks super bright, super illegal, but
super legal.
yeah, I don't have mini trucks.
Magnesium, hard to get going, but it stays lit, and you can't shut it, you can't turn it off. Like I said, buy a couple, they're like $10, and it's just, there's just so, you know, when you need them, you need them. And have operating smoke detectors at your house too, you know, and they're cheap. They're like I said, that was like $5, and they do both now, which is really nice, you know. So, and have them, all, you know, all over your house. You know, I put them all over mine. You guys, food safety at parties. If you go to parties and stuff like that, be careful. The mayonnaise, the stuff. You don't know how long the stuff lays out. You know, so just be careful with that kind of thing. When people are, hey, let's have a potluck. Well, how old was your mayonnaise when you made that tuna sandwich that I gotta eat now? You know, I'm kind of careful. I'm like, you know, just be careful because you don't want to get sick and stuff for holidays. I don't, you know, so just be careful. And then then when you bring stuff home or you cook a lot, and you guys have kids, so you probably have no food in the house because they're eating all the time. They're eating all the
My daughter
time.
likes to say, what are leftovers?
What are leftovers? Yeah, what is that word? You guys don't know what a word leftovers means. Yeah, so, but if you do have leftovers, don't keep them too long, you know what I mean? And like I said, dig that hole, bury it, whatever, burn it, whatever you gotta do. But yeah, throw it out, you know, especially milk, eggnog, things like that, you know, dairy products, get rid of it. Cheese is okay, cut it away, still eat it, yeah. And then, I don't know why I put this way down here, I should put it with my electrical thing. Don't cover electrical cords with rugs, okay? You know how people put rugs over like, you know, their thresholds. Yeah, well, you can trip, that's one thing, but what you're doing with that rug is rubbing against the thing, and now you're rubbing a hole in it, now you're gonna cause a fire. That's exactly what you're gonna do, you're gonna cause a fire, and then you're gonna go, uh-oh. You know, if you open the rug and you see it, it's rubbing. It's just gone, because you're walking over it constantly. So, anyway, so Max, that's all I got.